Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It is Friday, the 1st of August. This is our weekly recap. Put this out there for free. If you want to join us, I'll put a link in the description below. Come on over to smartoptiontrading.com. We'd love to have you in our room. Good morning. Hey, Jarrell, how are you? So let's talk. It's been a very interesting week here. We had a lot of the big earnings names, the Mag 7 have all reported, and the week was overall very quiet. We were red on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We gapped up on yesterday off of Meta and Microsoft's big earnings, and we had a vicious down candle that engulfed the previous 5 days of action. What did we get today? We gapped down. Okay. Apple's earnings were good, but they're no AI story, and Amazon guided light. And you get a gap down today and follow through to the downside. What we've done now is we broke below the 8 and the 21 day. We came in and we hit the 3% pullback already on the SPY at 620.65. The 5% down here is at 607.86. If you're looking for levels to watch, 620 was one. We'll watch the 615 area as our next level, then your 50-day in between there as we go down. If we continue to go down, seasonality is against us here. Seasonality, the first part of August is usually extremely weak. We're right into that here. That said, it was a good week overall. Lots to do. Volume today at 115 million shares with less than 20 minutes to go. We definitely had selling pressure here on the index itself today in the markets. Let's pull up to a different screen here. We'll go. The VIX, notably, yesterday, big candle, big one today, closing above 20, but not out of the Bollinger Bands yet. Went into them and stopped. Bonds had a big, nice day. Saw people running to bonds, whether it's running for protection or anticipating rate cuts coming. Non-farm payroll today, the numbers were weak on the job side. But however, it's the first trading day of the month, and those numbers are notoriously bad on the first trading day. They're usually revised later on. Gold also having a nice big day here, moving back up. The NASDAQ also similar. New all-time highs yesterday came down, gap down today under the 21 day. You got your 3 and 5% levels put in there as well. Okay, so we got a little bit of problems here that have crept into the market. The financials, big gap down today and under the 50-day on the ETF. The index, the names themselves, JP Morgan, much stronger, nice tail there. Goldman also much stronger. You get the idea. Some of these names holding in much better. Let's talk about this week and what was good and what was bad. Microsoft, great report. They blew that report out. The problem is when you look at Microsoft on a 1-year chart and you realize how far we came here in 3 months, it was just too much. Microsoft's probably a name I want to buy on dips here. Looks great coming down. Looks like it wants to fill that gap. We'll let it go do that. Meta also had a blowout report, just trying to break out here of this big V bounce. Came back today and it retested the previous all-time high and is trying to hold there. We'll see what this wants to do. Another name that has go-to status. I think Google was a great report last week. Still can't push up and get everything back down today. When we think about the semis, the SMHs were leading new all-time highs a couple of days ago. They've come back down. And the problem with the SMHs, in my opinion, is that the semis earnings have been bad, whether it was LRCX or ARM or Qualcomm or Intel. All right, the only one that was good so far to me was Taiwan Semi. That said, NVDA here holding well, almost got above the 8-day today. They came running back, and when you look at a market like this stands out. There was flow all over it. They went from put buying on it to buying calls all over NVIDIA. You had this big V bounce to highs of the day, took it back above the 8-day briefly. Okay, still looking good. Same thing with AMD, right? Nice back above the 8-day. They report next week on Tuesday. Avgo also back to the 8-day. They're going to tell you what they want. Dip buyers are going to continue to come in and buy these names. Remember, there's a ton of money sitting on the sideline that missed this until they get hurt. So in other words, until they buy and hold and they come in on a day and they're gapped down badly and they're hurting, they're going to keep doing this, right? That's how this market's worth. What else, guys? What should we talk about here? We talked about Microsoft, Amazon. Amazon, they're getting beaten up. Is it they deserve this? Probably more than they deserve, but we'll see if it holds a 200-day down here at 209. I'm biased. I own it, but I thought the report was better than went on. I think their guidance still was definitely weak, and that's a problem. Apple, I'll come back to that in a sec. Apple here, big nasty candle, had a beautiful trade on it today on the open, got out of it. Nice move back down here. We'll see what it wants to do. But, honestly, no AI story there. That's a problem. Palantir reports on Monday holding well. Oracle also still holding well. You can see the leader's still good. Hood, the report was fine. It's just run so much. Nice little bounce there. We caught that for a nice trade today as well. Sorry, not that one. Some people called it the room called it. I didn't. Reddit with a blowout report. Big move up there. Or we keep that one on your radar. Avi, Avi, nice candle here today back up. Good look. And they really are. They're moving back into some of these names they like to hide in, whether it's Clorox, right? Not so much, but was up for a bit. Coke, Pepsi, right? Places they can hide. The home builders. The XHB had a nice day. So not everything is broken here beyond belief or in that much trouble. But the problem is it's very, very name specific and they want very, very specific names. Coin disaster report, as we talked about in the room, they're just they too much competition. There's too many other ways to buy crypto now, and not just, you can buy in Robinhood, you can buy names there. You can probably see that in more brokers, and there's too much competition. Or you can just buy the ETFs or these crypto holding companies like MSTR and SBET and BNMR. So, just change of the guard there. Overall, guys, we had a great week. There was lots to do. Monday was AMD and SMCI and Tesla. SOFI gave up. SOFI had a great report. I've been talking about that one. I thought that was a game-changing report. Get your shopping list together. You want it. In no way, barring something unforeseen, do I think this is the end of this bull market. This is a routine pullback that was much needed and everybody's been crying for. And, hopefully we get a little bit more, another day or two follow through, and then we'll look to see if we can start buying. Have a great weekend. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to join us in our live trading room. Love to have you, and I'll catch you guys live bright and early on Monday morning.